guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, this is a series for my weight loss journey, and definitely join if you haven't yet. I don't know if my voice, I feel like my voice sounds different. I'm kind of getting over something, so just bear with me. So it's kind of hard to start anywhere, basically. It's kind of a taboo topic. Many people don't talk about it. A lot of people that have it don't like to talk about it. So I'm just gonna start with myself. I just got diagnosed with PTSD, depressive bipolar, chronic depression, anxiety, and possibly borderline personality. We're gonna still do a few more tests for that and just a little more therapy to see if, because that's, I guess, a hard one to diagnose. Between bipolar and personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, those two are hard because sometimes one will mimic the other. And so it's kind of, you have to go more into therapy. So those are the two that are kind of like, which one am I right now? So kind of limbo with that. But I do have chronic depression, anxiety, and PTSD, which I already knew. I was diagnosed before with other therapists for that. But the other two are recently new diagnoses, so we'll just have to figure that out. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. In fact, I've come to terms, and I think it's best to talk about things like this because a lot of people may be going through the same thing or have the same issues, and I just want them to know they're not alone. I, for one, believe, and I truly believe this, that not talking about it, because my family knows that I do talk about it. Like, I'm pretty open about it, recently anyways, the last couple of years. Before then, I didn't really talk much about it. You know, it was kind of like just a thing I kept to myself. And I felt alone and isolated. And some people would give me grief if I did try to talk about it publicly, on my Facebook or whatever. And for me, it's like, I shouldn't feel that way. Whenever I talked about it, I felt better about it because I felt like I could just say it out loud and just know this is what I'm dealing with. And just hearing it out loud, it was just like kind of a freedom. And I feel like people that are, feel like they have to can't talk about it are mostly isolated. And when I feel isolated and I can't talk about it or say anything about it or whatever, I feel alone. And unfortunately, with mental illnesses, most people do suffer from suicide thoughts or suicide attempts, and unfortunately some do succeed. I know I've had a few suicide attempts, and I do have suicide thoughts. It's something I've been working on for a long time. Unfortunately, recently, back in December, I did try to attempt, and I'm okay to talk about it now. This is why I'm okay with to talk about it, because I know I don't want to do it. And the reason why I knew I didn't want to do it, my therapist worked with me through it, is because when I was about to do it, sorry, this is hard to talk about. This was what was scary. The fact that I didn't think of anybody or anything. I just wanted to do it. And that was scary because in the past when I had attempts, when I had my children, I wouldn't do it because they were my first thought. This recently, I didn't think of them. I didn't think of anything. I just wanted to do it. But I also at the same time was, screaming for help, basically. My husband was there. My mom, I had to call her, my therapist and everything, and they were all there for me. And that's when I knew I really didn't want to do it. It was just more the thought that I felt alone. There was a lot going on during December and November. It led into December. And I just felt completely alone, helpless. And I don't know. I had the thought that I was better off. And luckily though, me screaming out loud, saying I'm going to kill myself, because most people that are going to do it. They don't say it. They don't say anything. They just do it. Or if they do, they, you know, a lot of people don't listen or whatever. But most people that commit suicide don't say anything. Some people, you don't even see any signs. And for me, I was screaming for help because deep down, I knew I didn't want to do it. But for some reason, part of me wanted to. But thank God, you know, for me just saying out loud I was going to kill myself. In that moment, I felt like I wanted to, but I didn't. And I think it's very important to be just honest with you guys with this. It was something I didn't think I was going to talk about, but I feel okay to talk about it now. I know this time of the year is it was really hard for a lot of people, especially during the holidays and after the holidays. Suicide becomes a big topic. A lot of people feel alone during these months, and I feel like this is something I felt like needed to be talked about. And luckily I just got that, you know, I'm getting the help that I need, and it's gonna take a while. You know, this is something I'm gonna have to deal with the rest of my life, and I've accepted that. Few years ago, I would just give up on therapy when someone diagnosed me with something or wanted to give me medication. I always felt like I can just do it myself. I don't need help. I can take care of myself. I can fix my own mental illness. Obviously not. And I think this is why it's so different for me now, is because the therapist that I have now, she is just really good with me. She just gets into the nitty-gritty of my life, just everything, and she just gets to know me on a personal level. So I just feel like everything just feels right, and I feel like I just want to continue, and I've just been more open about things, and I've just been more accepting, and this is the thing that I live by now. You can't make change if you can't accept change, and that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. When you want change in your life, when you want to change you or your surroundings or whatever, you have to make that change. I know it's hard because I've had I'm 26, so it's taking me a long time. I know people that are older that's taken them longer, and some people that haven't even tried. And I'm just glad to know that my kids are young and I can make these changes now and just take accountability for things and making the changes in my life and pressing forward. And I feel therapy is definitely the biggest thing for me that's helped me a lot. So I definitely recommend, if you're going through the same things or if you're going through anything, just see if you can, go through any type of therapy, counseling. There are, I know before when I didn't have insurance or I couldn't find a program that couldn't help me, I found little groups that would meet up once a week, and they were free. So there are, tools around. Just talk to your doctor, look in your community, things like that. I'm sure there's something around. If not, talk to a close friend, a family member, if you have a religion, talk to that person or somebody that you can trust, anybody. It is so important to speak out and not to feel isolated, because once you're isolated, suicide starts to creep in, and that's when things start to get bad, and you don't want that. And I know I don't, and that's why I've been loud, and I've been talking and yelling and telling everybody that I feel this way, because I don't want to end up that way. So I think it's I think it's very important for that, and I'm very strong on this because this is something that I've always dealt with my whole entire life. And I have 3 beautiful children that I need to live for. I have a wonderful husband, and I have to live for myself too. I have so much life in me still. I have to keep going. And, it's very important that you do too. It's not easy, obviously. I fight every day. I like to look at other people's, experiences and, their mental illnesses too. And there was a channel that I was watching and she was talking about her mental illness, and, I go through the comments. Most of them are supportive. And then the guy made a comment about how weak people have mental illness or something like that. And it just hit me pretty hard, because I thought about it and I was like, that's not true. I feel that the people that have to deal with this every day of their life are probably the most strongest people you're ever going to meet, especially when they have suicide thoughts or attempts and things like that. They're constantly fighting for their life. And if they're still alive today and they're pushing forward, or people that have definitely succeed and they're doing so better in life, those are the strongest people you're going to meet. So don't say that someone that has a mental illness is the weakest person. They're not. And even if that person does commit suicide, they're not weak. They fought for a long time, and unfortunately sometimes, they give up, and it happens, and it's sad. And that's why I'm right now fighting for it, because I don't want to be that way. And I'm now don't worry, I'm in a better place now. I'm doing great. My therapist has been working with me. We're actually working on getting medication for me too. My insurance is starting, we just finished the process of the paperwork, and now we're just waiting for them to say something, and then I can get in with the doctor. Anyways, I'm okay now, but I just feel like I need to talk about this, because there's others that are not okay, and they need to know they can be okay. So as I talk to somebody and just talk about it instead of feeling isolated, and just talk to somebody that's going to support you. And not only that, you're going to have to make changes in your life. It's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. I've had to make a lot of changes this past year, this past month, of things that I had to cut out of my life, and it was very hard, but I knew it was the best thing I could do for myself so that I could succeed and better my mental health. And I just, you just have to do the same. And it's, as long as you have a good support group or someone you can trust, you can do it. I also believe that it's so important to take care of your mental health. Always to succeed in your goals in life. Like right now for me is to lose this weight and get healthy. For me, it's also my mental health. And when you have a better mindset, you have a better outlook in life, and you're more likely to succeed in your goals and the things that you want to achieve in life. So I think that is very important. If you want to make these changes in your life and these goals and these ambitions and whatever you want to do in life, it is so important to make sure that your mind is healthy and that you are doing what you need to do to make those goals. So on that note, if you're new to this channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Definitely comment below, and remember, you are worth it. Don't give up. Fight for your life, because you matter. Everyone matters. Doesn't matter who you are, you matter. Just remember that. And I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys next week.